I'm here with Sequan Don. How are you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Man, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate you. So I was listening to your song Furious, man. Before we get into that though, like where you from originally?
I'm from Maryland. Born
Okay.
in D.C., in Maryland. Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Maryland?
Growing up in Maryland, I'll probably say it was. I ain't gonna say I had a hard life, but growing up in Maryland, it's pretty neutral. I do. I love it. I love it. I actually love the closer to the DC area because I was born in DC. I was probably like I probably lived there up until like 6, and then I came to Maryland. So but Maryland's a very it's a cool place. I like it. I actually want to get out. I actually want to move away. But I love where I'm from. It's growing up here. I probably say it's been I've had my ups and downs. We moved around a lot, especially when I was young. So I'd probably say overall it's a good place to be though. It's a lot of people here are great. I love the people here. Especially my people. My people is very welcoming. So I probably say the best thing about Maryland is probably crabs for sure.
Most definitely. I've spent a lot of time in Maryland. I like used to hang out in Baltimore a lot and Towson. Um, one of the things and stuff that I know about Maryland has like a really interesting music scene. Like who are some of the artists that you grew up listening to?
Um, I probably say Adam Merlin. So in regards to Adam Merlin,
Yeah, Maryland and just like in general, like outside too.
okay, I say definitely I say a big artist. I'm probably say that I bumped like growing up a lot. I probably have to say that has an influence on me. I say Kendrick Lamar. If I could one big artist, it'd probably be Kendrick Lamar. I just like his alternative style. I probably say it's a lot going on with him right now. Kanye West too as well. But the graduation days, those were beautiful albums. I love those albums. I just like his alternative rap style. It's not like it's not generic. It's different. That's what I'm a big fan of different type of sounds and not the generic hip hop raps. And you know what I'm saying? So definitely, I say Kendrick Lamar the most though. That's yeah, that's a big influence for me. But I say as far as where I'm from, the DMV, I probably say Wale.
Okay, yeah, definitely, man. I love all those artists that you just named and stuff. I'm from Chicago, so like
Okay.
Kanye West, like he's been like a really big um part of like someone who's like music that like influenced my life, like as far as like creating a soundtrack to my life, you know. And then Kendrick Lamar, like as well, like some of the music he's done. I definitely respect all the work that Wale has done as an artist. When did you get involved in making music yourself?
I say probably right before the pandemic, probably like the end of 2019. Um I'll probably say I was in a long term relationship. That was my longest relationship, and it kind of ended on like on tough grounds, you could say. And I don't know. I didn't want to go to like I didn't want to go to therapy and that type stuff, but I wanted to express myself. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I started making music. Well, at first I didn't want to. At first I just want to do it for fun because it's a lot of artists out here. So I'm thinking I can never make it doing music. I can never go viral or be have people listen to my music. You know what I'm saying? But then actually one of my I forgot to mention, I say Michael Jackson too. Michael Jackson's a big influence, especially when I was a kid. But as far as like entertainment, I've always been like a when it comes to family gatherings, I've always been one like your mom tell you come downstairs and hey, do this dance you was doing earlier and all that type. Yeah, so like that's type of stuff I used to do. So I like making people laugh and making people entertain. I noticed, and I was like, maybe I can do that for like, you know what I'm saying, it's like a hobby. So at first it was a hobby. So I started just writing down stuff, how I was feeling. I write it down, and then I go in the studio, do it. At first I didn't believe in myself first, but I had other people around me telling me, you know, you could possibly do this if you keep going. So I'm like, y'all just telling me that, 'cause y'all my friends and family, you know. So I'm like, ain't nobody else. But then I started meeting strangers, and they asked me like, because I started putting on my Instagram page, not the current page. No, this page I just made is officially I'm dropping music, but I had did like little snippets on my previous page, my personal page I had. This was like in 2021. It was like the going into 2021, and so I dropped a little couple snippets, and people were like, yeah, I like this. I was like, people I didn't know, so I was like, and I meet new people, and they'll say, you listen, you got music, and I get in their car, and they'll be like, play me some music, and I play it, and they like it, so I'll be like, okay, maybe I might got something. You know what I'm saying? If they say, if you got potential, you got potential, and I was like, okay, so I just kept going, and now I'm officially dropping. I plan on 2023. 2023 is a big year for me. I plan on dropping a lot of music consistently. I haven't been because I wasn't consistent because I was at a crossroads where I didn't quite believe in it.
Right.
You know, so I believe them. I believe myself, whatever I do, you know, but the music I didn't, because it's a very saturated market. You got to stand out, you know. So especially nowadays, it's very common for someone to call themselves an artist or a rapper. So
Right.
I feel like stand out, like I said previously, Kendrick Lamar and Kanye West, they stand out because they're different, and their sound is, everyone loves their sound uniquely. Like Michael Jackson, artists like that, artists like I'm trying to think artists who generically Drake, you know Drake when you hear Drake. So like that's how I wanted to, if I did this, I wanted to make sure they hear me, they know, oh, that's him, that's not them, you know. So
Right.
definitely what
Man,
my goal is.
I feel like you're off to a great start. Like I really like the song Furious and the video. Like it's a cool, crispy visual. Um, I wanted to ask, like you have a bar, like where you say something about body counts, and like
Yeah,
that's a big debate. Like how many is like too many?
tell me what's your body count, baby girl, I'm curious. This was about 5 years ago. I'd say like too many probably be like over 6, you know. But nowadays I say, you mean somebody, the bare minimum probably like 10, 15 at least. But at least in my generation, I'm kinda young. I'm only 24. So
Right, right.
uh girls I mean now, they at least been with at least 15 guys at least. But it's
I
too
mean,
many.
I say like on average, like by college, like the senior year of college, most girls you meet, they've had like 20 bodies, like
Yeah.
easily. If like you meet a girl that went to college and stuff, she's had like about like 20 bodies or more. So
Yeah.
that's
It's I know that nowadays it used to be the fellas will have more, but now females will have more than the fellas. Fellas will have like 0 to 5 maybe. It's a lot. It's a lot of guys out here too that are, I noticed, that are virgins more and more so often now, and it's things are definitely changing. Things are definitely different.
for sure. What was the inspiration behind Furious?
Furious. I had fun. I just kind of just like I was having fun with that song. I kind of I wrote the hook, and then I didn't have a verse. So like the part when I go like fuck a bitch, I wanna run it up. That part, that was literally like my engineer was just like, he was like, just keep going, keep going. So I'm like, all right. So then I just started freestyling that part. But the chorus that I wrote that, as far as the body count, and it just was little stuff going on in my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was meeting, like I said, I was meeting girls. I was like, dang, man, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of girls don't tell you like what it is, you know, they'll feel
Right.
offended. Ask them. So I'd be like, tell me what's your body count. I'm curious, you know, like, because I do want to, because, you know, I feel like every man wants to know that at the end of the day, you know, but You know, it depends if you can take it or not, like what the answer will be. And well, if she likes you, I feel like she ain't gonna tell you the the exact amount, you know. But making that song was definitely just like we just was having fun in there, you know. That's how it came out like it did, the energy. So that's why, yeah, this was fun.
Most definitely. And I was listening to Alone as well, like, you know, and it doesn't have a video yet. Like I was wondering if you have plans to create a video for that because it has like a little bit of an animation like marketing to it.
Yeah, I had a couple people tell me that. I was thinking about just dropping on an EP, but I think I will shoot a video. I was thinking about that. I just don't know the vision for it yet. Uh if I wanted to be with someone in the video,
Right.
or like just me in like a room or something. I didn't know which way to go with that, but I'm still figuring. I might since you mentioned that, I might start brainstorming with that. Yeah. But
Yeah.
as far yeah, I would shoot a video. I would.
Yeah, it's a dope song, like, you know, and I think you're a really good artist. I think you, like, you know, you have a lot of potential and stuff and everything, and like, you know, it's really important to have the visuals, you know, to go with the music. Like, you know, it amplifies, you know, your reach. Like, you know, people, like, you know, they see the visual, and like, you know, especially when it has a strong song. But if you could come up with a really creative visual and stuff, it helps, you know, artists go viral nowadays. Um, you know, how are you planning to approach like the new year, like, you know, as far as like getting your music out there, like, you know, doing shows and stuff like that? What's next for you?
Um, as far as the shows go, I actually want to me personally, I want to build I want to build a foundation first. So I want to drop at least by the summertime. I at least want to drop one or two projects as far as EPs go. But I want to drop, like, now I'm dropping another single December 30th. Be on the lookout for that as well. I'm dropping a single. It's a feature. I did actually, this is actually probably like 8 months old, but I didn't know like if I wanted to drop the song or not. But I actually posted a snippet of it on Instagram, and I told them 100 likes and I'll drop it, and they gave me 100 likes. So I said I gotta drop it. So I just plan on building my as far as my building my Instagram page, my brand up some more. I want to get a good foundation, a good footing as far as like before I start taking more steps. So I'm dropping a single at the end of this year. Then I plan on dropping. I don't know if I want to drop another one in January or just drop an EP, because I have enough songs to where now, like, because I've been making music for about 2 years now. I just haven't put out all the material because I had to make sure I believe in quality over quantity. So like, you know, I know some artists just spam, and that's not the type of artist I want to be. I want to be the more artist with mystique, you know, like I look up to those type of artists who drop when they want to, or surprise their fans. I feel like fans appreciate that more than when I mean, they do. There is artists that can do that, that can drop all the time, all the time, all the time. But me personally, I want to go to mystique, the mysterious role, like as far as like drop here and there. I'd rather the song be great. Like, I'd rather have 10 great songs than 30 just okay songs, you know, and then just drop all of those. So I plan on dropping another EP probably in January. I'm thinking January or beginning of February. And then I want to drop another one. And then I actually want to drop a few more videos. So I plan on dropping another video probably around February time, maybe January, depending on when it can get done. But yeah, that's the plan. And then it's far. So by this time next year, I plan on being I plan on my Instagram page going up, my interaction, my engagement. You know, right now I'm just trying to get my engagement up on my page, and build organic fans, you know, people
Most
that's
definitely.
actually my music, who are actually gonna stream it, and that's my reward to myself, you know, is people supporting me. So as far as next year, I have a lot of plans for next year. I'm planning on being very consistent, and just going crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Definitely, man. Being from Maryland, there's a lot of like, dope rappers. There's a argument of like, who is the best rapper, from Maryland, because there's, Logic, Cordae,
Yeah. So
Wax. There's all
I
these
love
dope.
Logic is definitely like I ain't gonna lie. Logic is a I forgot to mention him as well. Glad you mentioned. I like Cordae too. Cordae's actually he's not from where I'm from, but he's from the county I'm from, PG
Okay.
County.
Okay.
So he's from another part of PG County, and Logic Logic is a big like I listen to him a lot growing up, and like a lot of people like don't understand his sound because his sound is for I feel like for another generation, like far as like older folk, like the boom bap, uh lyrical type of rapper. Like nowadays, it's less lyrical when it comes to music. It's more sounds and how the song sounds and if it gets you turned up. But like Logic is a very lyrical rapper. That's what I respected, and him coming out of Maryland, he's a big influence. That's why I kind of feel like I can do it as well. I definitely Logic is I forgot to mention Logic. I don't know how I didn't mention Logic, but yeah, you're right, definitely.
Man, like PG County, like, is an interesting place. Like I've been reading about it since like I was younger. I've had the opportunity to experience, like I read Nathan McCall's book, Makes Me Want to Holler. I don't know if you're familiar with it. And then there's this podcast I listen to. It's like Freedom of Literacy podcast, but the guy who hosts the podcast, he's actually from PG County. And I was wondering, like, what's it like, being in PG County?
PG County, I have to go. Okay, so like PG County, I have to go. Okay, so like I went to high school in PG, went to middle school, high school in PG County. It's definitely it's definitely a unique place. It's I call it baby DC because it's like a lot of folks from DC moved there from like migrate from there. So it's definitely I love the area as far as like the food spots, definitely the carry outs, the the stores. I love the stores. Um that's really PG County is really home for me because I grew up most of my life there, and I had a lot of experiences in PG County. It's I know it gets sometimes it gets a lot of bad rep for like the crime and that type stuff, but it's definitely it's a good heartwarming place. Especially like I grew up in the Upper Marlboro area, Largo, so I definitely like that's definitely home for me. But PG County is a very diverse place. You got people from all you got Hispanics, you got blacks, Africans now. It's a lot of diversity in PG County now. It's definitely becoming more diverse. So yeah, it's a big place.
Yeah, man. That's really cool. Like I've always like had a lot of love for PG County because I read that book. Like, have you ever you know what I'm talking about? The Nathan McCall book, Makes Me Want to Holler. It was
I've
it's
heard of the
yeah, it was like it came out probably like a little bit before your time, but when I was in maybe like sixth grade, he was on Oprah, and like he tells the story about like growing up in PG County and like how he like ended up like going to prison, because he like got involved in like the streets, and it's a really like amazing story and stuff, everything, and he like details like what like growing up in PG County was, and then like this guy who does the Freedom of Literacy project, he's an author, and he talks a lot about like PG County too, like, and it's just like the way like they describe it, and like my experiences, I really like the food places though, like there, that's all I've really ever going there for is like like when I go through there is like maybe go to like a crab place or something like that, but you know um who are some of the artists that you would like to work with in the future?
A dream feature, I'll probably have to say I'm not even gonna say just a big artist. An artist that's like, well, I know is on the up and coming and will be like a huge name artist. But I don't know if you know JID.
Yeah.
JID.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'd be good if I get a feature from him, man. I just love he's definitely like lyrical, but he has a different twist. His style is just so that song he made Dance Now, that album he just dropped,
Yeah.
Dance Now. That's probably my favorite song right now. I love
Yeah.
JID is a great artist, like
Yeah.
lyrically.
I was one of the first people to blog about him, like, you know, online and stuff, everything. Like you could Google it. Like, you know, I wrote a blog about him like in Earth Gang, like
Oh yeah,
years
okay.
ago. Like
Like
and stuff, everything. But like, man, like I like, you know, I really like, you know, have an appreciation for your music and stuff, everything, and your style. You know, what do you think that you bring to the game, like, you know, that's lacking?
originality. You know, I feel like a lot of people are afraid to be their self. You know, I think because like when stuff sounds different, I think and I'm thinking from a consumer bit mindset, like as far as like listening to music, um, we don't we don't. I feel like we have when it comes to consuming music, we kind of follow the trends. So I think people are afraid to be themselves and just make their own type of music and let it catch on. Like I feel, and a lot of people aren't willing to put the time and like it takes time. Like when I see a lot of these big artists, especially the ones like it's because it's something that come up overnight. You know, that's a 1 in a million chance. But I think a lot of artists nowadays don't realize it's going most of the time it's going to be a slow grind. Like another artist I really God rest his soul, Young Dolph. He
Yeah.
took him time. Like it took him time. Like when I look at his story, he didn't really get on till like later on in his 20s. People like 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz didn't really get on till he was older. Not even just music, actors. I know Chadwick, God rest his soul too, Chadwick Boseman. His I feel like he grinded, did little movies, and then he hit, obviously he's the Black Panther, you know. Then Samuel Jackson, you know, he took him time. So I feel like patience and being yourself. Like with me, I just try to make the music I make. You know, I've come to I've come to like a conclusion to where I'm just gonna put out my music and just if I feel like 100%, I'm not putting out less than 100%. I feel like it's gonna be good or it's good enough to me because I feel like I have good taste in music. So I just trust myself and I trust my ear and I just try to be original. I really don't try to say anything. I mean, we all say the same things, but we say it in different ways. So
Right.
that's what it is at the end of the day. It's how you say it and how you do it. So that's my goal, is just standing out and being original. I think that's what I definitely bring. You know, I know uh when I was younger, before I got older and I grew into myself, I know girls would be like, "Oh, you weird, you weird." Then I kind of thought about that. I'm like, why can't I just lean? You should lean into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at artists like Little Uzi. They call like I remember when he first started. I remember everyone was like, he's weird. He's Lil Yachty. People like him, they were like, but now look at him. He's they separate themselves from other people, and that's why I
Right.
think people, their fans, they love him. So I know it's a fan base out there for me. So that's what I'm trying to establish now.
Yeah, man, I think that's a whole dope concept. You said a lot of good things that, like, you know, I've heard from, like, you know, a lot of artists that I respect. One of them being like Nipsey Hussle. You know, he talks about, like, you know, just as far as, like, you know, the importance of, you know, being authentic to who you are, and, you know, being okay with, like, sometimes being overlooked. I saw that in an interview like on Instagram that he did, where he was talking about, like, you know, that, like, you know, sometimes that like, you know, you're not gonna get necessarily the recognition that you deserve probably as an artist, but like you got to be okay with that. That's part of the game. Do you feel like, you know, that you are overlooked, and how does that affect you? Because you're a dope artist, but like you're not necessarily getting like all the recognition that, you know, somebody who's making like, you know, good music like at your level should be getting. So how do you deal with that?
Um, I just know I just know it eventually. I truly believe this. Like that eventually I will gain traction. As far as like, cause it's the little things that matter. So when I see like now my page, well, I started my page about 3 weeks ago, and I'm already almost at 12,000 followers. So
Yeah.
I see stuff like that, you know. And then I look at I don't like to compare, but then I look at, but you, I mean, I guess you got to in some instances, you know, to kind of see what you're lacking. So I kind of look at other artists that like will have the same amount of followers or like less than me, or like look at their engagements and look at like who's liking their posts, who's actually like engaging under their posts, commenting. Then I look at mine and I kind of see, oh, like I'm getting, I just started and I'm getting that same kind of engagement, like somebody who have like more followers or more support than I do. So I feel like just wait till I get there, like as far as my followers and my likes and my reposts and my shares. So I'm getting like I like I think now on Instagram you can see who saved your posts and stuff like that. I'll see it now. I'm getting saved posts. I dropped the song. I dropped the Furious track before I dropped the visuals. People were saving that post when I dropped. I just snippet to the track. So I'm like, man, I might have something here, you know. So I know like I believe like as far as the little steps, like I'm probably at square one, but I know when I go up, I know I'll be there. I know I'll have love and support. I know I can have a fan base like a little Uzi, like a Kendrick Lamar, like a Playboy Cardi, like a Kanye West, you know what I'm saying? Like diehard fan bases. Matter of fact, another inspiration I forgot to mention, dang, he lost his life too, but XXX Tentacion.
Yeah.
He was on the verge of being a really, really, really big artist. I'm talking like Drake level. I really believe that.
Yeah.
As far as his fan base, he had like it's almost cult like, you know. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I want to build my my support, you know. I want to have that kind of support, but I know deep down, like as far as answer your question, how I deal with it, I just keep looking forward, you know, and I'm just gonna keep on pushing, you know. So I feel like I really not even feel, I know like that I can.
Yeah. Man, like I wouldn't even be interviewing you if I didn't think you had the potential, like, you know, to do great things. I think you're a dope artist. You know, every artist has to start somewhere. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
have you started like, you know, putting together a team, like, you know, as far as like in music?
No, see, it's funny. A friend of mine asked me that yesterday, and I was like, you got management or anything? I was like, no, I don't. But that's because I don't know I don't know where I would start as far as like I'm still doing my research on because I ain't gonna lie, on Instagram it's a lot of scams, a lot of people trying to know you're hungry, and I know that that's the game, the way of the game. They know I'm hungry, so they want to, oh, if you do this, I'll help you with this. You give me this, but I feel like I know I find the right support system. My uncle actually is in a band currently now. Yeah, he's called Area 301. It's a Merlin band. It's like a live band, and he actually gives me pointers on the music tips and stuff like that. I feel like when I definitely get a little more traction, I'll definitely bring him along for as far as management goes. But as far as the team, not yet quite. Um, I ain't gonna say like I got super trust issues, but you know, I gotta figure out who I can. I'm very picky when it comes to that type of stuff because, you know, you hear a lot of stories of like later down the line, people have like their teams derailing their careers and stealing their money and that type of stuff, and things going sour. So I want to make sure if I have a team, I want to know where like the support for me and my vision will be unconditional, you know. So that's my plan. So, but if I do get a team, but not as of now, no, because I literally just started dropping music probably like a month ago. So, but in the future, yeah. Now that you say something, yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep that in mind. I do need to eventually, because I can't do everything by yourself, obviously, you know. So you need support in the team. So, but absolutely, yeah. Eventually, yeah. Eventually.
Most definitely. You know, Sequan Don. How did you come up with that name?
Actually, it's my actual name. Well, it's not my first one, but it's my middle name. So it's the middle name. My mom. Only time she would call me that is if like she was serious about something. So she would say, then she'll say Sequan, and then she'll know like I know she's serious. So, but I originally went by when I first was kind of playing with it, like, and I was kind of dropping little stuff here and there. Like I dropped like 2 tracks, probably like a little 10 song. I ended up taking it down because I was kind of going back and forth with believing if I could do it or not. But I may re-release some of those tracks. But as far as the name goes, I originally was going by T Star.
Okay.
So that's what all my friends gave me. Like they gave me because of my first name, and they were like, "Oh, you got potential to be a star. So why don't you just say T Star?" But it was a couple artists like when I was dropping my music that had that name, and I was like, I don't want to. I want to stand apart. You know, I want my name. When you type it in, that's the thing. That's the name you see. You know, you see my work. You know, so I had to think of something like And as far as Saquon, that's my middle name. And as far as Don, that's self-explanatory. I feel like I'm a young and Mafia. I love Mafia. I love anything that has to do with the Mafia. Um, uh, crime bosses like Al Capone, Don Corleone, The Godfather. My father and my uncle actually got me into those type of movies. So like I love like the gangster, the old gangster like type of and the dons, the soldiers, you got the soldiers, then you got the dons, then you got the wise guys. I'm in love with those type of movies. So Don was like definitely something that I've always like idolized, like Dons, because they're what they say goes. I don't know if you ever seen what is the movie? It's Donnie. It's on Netflix. It's
Donnie Brasco.
Donnie Brasco. Yes, I
Yeah.
love that movie. I liked how it's levels to it. Like in life, that's what it really reflects me because I learned that it's levels to it. Like especially in the mafia, it's levels to it. You got the people that's at the bottom, like the wise guys and the soldiers. Then you got the dons, you know, like and the what character did Al Pacino? The Al Pacino's character, he was a boss. He wasn't a boss. He was under a boss. So when I say Don, I want to be the boss, you know? So that's where Don came from. The history of I just love the old school gangster. I just like their code. They stick by a code and their even crime the crime part of it is irrelevant. But as far as the code, stick to the code and the hierarchy of it. Don was a name I definitely wanted to go by. So Saquon Don, that's how that came together.